All right, let's get cooking. Welcome to the latest edition of Chin Check Sports Radio. I'm your host, JD. I want to thank you all for taking the time out to join us. And as always, we welcome any suggestions, feedback, comments, and criticisms, which improves the quality of our program, which ultimately improves your listening experience. Once again, before we get started, we want to send you all our well wishes during the current pandemic of COVID-19. As we always say, it's the uncertainty that fuels our anxiety, and we know that this is a very stressful time. Apparently, looking at news reports, Pfizer is working on some type of vaccine, or a vaccine is on the way. But let us continue to do our part to stop the spread of this virus by continuing to follow social distancing, washing our hands, as well as wearing our masks out in public, so we can do our part as well as help coming. We want to thank you all for your tremendous support. Again, folks are reaching out to us at least once a week, telling us how much they enjoy our program, they enjoy our content, they love the passion in which we speak. So we thank you for your support. And if we at Chin Check Radio can serve as a distraction with everything that's going on, then that's something that we are proud of doing. Now, on my last broadcast, I went in, I told the truth, and I told like it is. So for those of you who have problems with it, you can go to hell. But moving right along. Week 9, the Dallas Cowboys home loss to the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, folks, I will say this. I was pleasantly surprised by the effort. You would think the Dallas Cowboys, starting their 4th quarterback this season, that they would have no shot at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe the point was a line, 13, 14 points? I'm not into gambling, but it was a very huge point spread. The Cowboys were heavy underdogs, and they definitely gave a very spirited performance. I will probably say a spirited performance, probably their best performance of the season, even though they have 2 wins. But I would say, as a whole, the most spirited performance since the loss of Dak Prescott. Not to minimize the miraculous comeback against the Atlanta Falcons, but this game, considering that he had everything against them, starting at 4th quarterback, playing an undefeated team with that type of defense, and I thought the Cowboys played very well. Quarterback Garrett Gilbert, 21 of 33 pass attempts, 243 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Running back Tony Pollard, 9 carries for 57 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 18 carries for 51 yards. Rookie sensation CeeDee Lamb, 4 catches, 71 yards, and 1 touchdown. Amari Cooper, 5 catches, 67 yards. Dalton Schultz, 4 catches, 48 yards. On the defensive side, Trayvon Diggs, we keep calling his name on every week. We like what we see. 7 total tackles, 7 solo. Linebacker Jalen Smith, 7 total tackles, 6 solo. Xavier Woods, 6 total tackles, 4 solo. Leighton Vander Esch, 6 total tackles, 3 solo tackles. DeMarcus Lawrence, 4 total tackles, 3 solo tackles, and 1.5 tackles for a loss. Randy Gregory showing some moxie out here. 3 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 tackle for a loss. And Neville Gallimore, who I'm really starting to like. I definitely like what I see. 3 total tackles, 1 solo, and 1 tackle for a loss. And of course, his disruptions aren't counted in the stat line, but he definitely was a force, and I definitely like what I'm saying. I said on a previous broadcast that they need to cut down Tari Poe and let some of these young guys play, and we called it at Chin Check Radio, and you're starting to see some of the results. Love what I saw from Neville Gallimore, especially in the first half. I mean, the guy was blowing up the Steelers' offensive line, which really was a tale of the first half. The Dallas Cowboys played a great half of football. I thought the play calling was well. Offensively, of course, a little bit slow starting a new quarterback, but defensively, they were getting pressures on Ben Roethlisberger, hitting Ben Roethlisberger. You definitely saw a defensive line commanding their presence. I still don't understand why Antoine Woods is on the team. There was one sequence I saw in the first half, I'm going to say the first quarter, where the man, he didn't even know where to line up on the field. But like what I see from Gallimore, and I definitely want to see more from him. this is what you do. When he puts you in there, you take advantage of your opportunity. So congratulations to him. And definitely, again, a spirited performance. Now let's kind of review some highlights of the game. Really, it picks up in the second quarter where CeeDee Lamb runs a beautiful out and up move where he beats the linebacker, makes a nice catch. He's wide open. Cowboys have all the momentum on their side. I know there was one sequence where they had a 4th and 1, and former Cowboy Tony Romo was saying that he should have went for, but I didn't have a problem with that. You definitely want to be safe. You're playing undefeated team. You definitely want to attack on the points. But then some of the momentum started to change after the Steelers scored a touchdown. I believe it was a field goal, but it was after a Steelers score. The Cowboys are driving. And then what was sad about one particular play was a beautiful special teams play where wide receiver Cedric Wilson, he catches the ball on the right side of the field, throws it back across the field to the Cowboys player who's racing down the sidelines. But for a foolish block in the back, the Cowboys could have had great field position, but unfortunately, they get a penalty. As the Cowboys are driving at the end of the first half, really could have tacked on small points. Unfortunately, CeeDee Lamb, he catches a pass, fumbles it. Obviously, a great play by the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. He fumbles the ball. Rookie, it happens. They're going to have to just move on from that. Trying to run hard. Again, playing undefeated team. They gave a spirited effort. Now, what everybody's talking about is what happened in the fourth quarter. Now, the fourth quarter, unfortunately, the Cowboys were shut out and actually they were outscored 15-0 in the fourth quarter. Now, to really put in perspective how tight the game really was, the Steelers had missed an extra point and had another extra point blocked. So that final drive of the Steelers was pretty much handed to them by penalties from the Cowboys. Now, if you listen to Skip Bayless, he'll tell you the Cowboys were robbed. The calls were questionable. Now, the one call that was questionable was definitely the Jalen Smith call on third down where he checks the receiver, stops him in his back, and I believe that was Chase Claypool. Right at 5 yards, Cowboys get a great defensive play, and if I'm not mistaken, that was a strip sack fumble, and is called back for illegal contact on Jalen Smith. That was a bad call. That really could have changed the momentum of the game. Cowboys really could have put the game away or really continue with the momentum on their side. Bad call. Leighton Vander Esch makes a tackle on the running back. The running back is still holding on, pushing away his face mask, still has a hold of Leighton Vander Esch's his face mask. Leighton Vander Esch then swipes the guy's hand away. Of course, the refs never catch the guy who initiated it. They always catch the guy who retaliated. And I know sometimes you let your emotions get the best of you, but when you're a team desperate for a win, you're playing well against an undefeated team, you have to try to control your emotions. But of course, we at Chin Check Radio, we're not going to judge and say, oh my God, what the hell was he thinking? He knows better than that. Your emotions get the best of you, but you have to try to do your best to try to keep your emotions in check. So now that's another 15-yard penalty that results in a first down. Then another call with Jalen Smith. Now this one here, I can kind of hold him a little bit responsible for this. As Ben Roethlisberger throws the ball, he comes hand to the face. Now, to me, I understand it's the rules, and I'm not just saying this because obviously we're fans of the Cowboys, but some of the contact to the head of the quarterback is very incidental, but that is part of the rules, and you do have to adjust accordingly to the rules of the game. So, Jalen trying to be aggressive, makes contact with the head and face of Ben Roethlisberger, gets flagged for a roughing the passer penalty, and of course the Steelers keep. So now the Steelers have pretty much gotten the first down off of an illegal contact. 30 yards worth of penalties or 30 yards of field position because of penalties only made the final touchdown easier, and unfortunately they did score the touchdown with Eric Ebron. So it's definitely a rough loss for the Cowboys. Definitely some things. I don't believe in moral victories. Again, they're at 2-7. I did say on last week's broadcast they can run the chance of not winning another game for the rest of the season. But if there is something to take away from this, is you see a little bit better from the defensive side, and I wish they would have had more of a complete game. But again, you only can work with what you have. I thought they played well in the first half. Of course, turnovers, that changed because Steelers scored all those points pretty much in the final couple of minutes of the first half. So you kind of let them back in the game when you have all those penalties, on the final drive. So that's something where they played well throughout the game. They kind of imploded on the final drive. But little pieces here and there. Randy Gregory, I did say I'm glad that he's playing well. He should be playing well because he should be well rested because the man hasn't played football in years. So he should be well rested, but we will give him credit. DeMarcus Lawrence seems to have found his footing. Again, we talked about Neville Gallimore, and I'm going to give Randy Gregory credit. When Juju Smith-Schuster scored a touchdown, was trying to do some Terrell Owens homage, and Randy Gregory went and he checked that nonsense quickly. He got a penalty off of it, but sometimes it's good to send a message that you're not to be toyed with and not to be played with, and that type of stuff can hopefully spread to the team. So if you're watching the game, if you're looking for some type of moral victory, you saw some things that you liked on the defensive side. But again, the good with the bad. The good was they played an outstanding first half against a team that they were favored. They were heavy underdogs against, but they made critical penalties and bad plays in the fourth quarter that maybe they should have held up better. So you take the good with the bad. But the Cowboys, as it stands right now, they're at 2-7. Playoff hopes slipping very fast despite being in a very poor and weak division. But again, at this stage, they really should be planning for next year, kind of auditioning guys for next season. Of course, people talking about paying Dak money or whether the market for a quarterback. We'll discuss that in the offseason. The next game is against the Minnesota Vikings, who they played last year and probably one of the best games of the season. Cowboys came up short. So again, I believe they're playing at Minnesota. It's not an easy place to play. But again, if you're encouraged by something, Garrett Gilbert, he played well. Now on the interception, I don't know why he was throwing the ball. Now he did take a hit while he was throwing, so he kind of threw the pass off. But you don't want to have those type of turnovers in the red zone. So that was the issue that I had with it. You should have been running the ball. You're already in a safe position. You should have been passing. You have Ezekiel Elliott. You have Tony Pollard. You kind of run the football and try to settle for a field goal. But all in all, this is why teams are sitting at 2-7. The Steelers are 8-8. This is why the Cowboys are at 2-7. The Steelers made plays at the critical times, where the Cowboys didn't make plays at the critical times. So this is why you are where you are. So only thing we can hope is for the best next week, playing against the Minnesota Vikings, and it's on to other teams, and we'll see how the season goes. So this is your Week 9 wrap-up of the Dallas Cowboys at Chin Check Radio. Until the next time.